You know I'm not a big fan of floral fragrances, but man, this one is an exception. You guys know how much I'm a huge fan of the classic fragrances, so hence the fact that I do this classic fragrance reviews for you guys. Now, you know also that I'm not a big fan of floral fragrances, but if there is such a thing as a perfect floral scent, this would be it. So this was not a very easy scent to find, but you can actually still find it at some discounters out there. This is how I found mine, which I'll tell you how you can get yours. You're looking at between 80 and 100 bucks if you find a discontinued gem like this one between 50 and 100 mil. So Givenchy Incensé, which translates to foolish, is a floral. It's considered an aromatic fougere, but it's really a masculine floral, if you ask me, with some fougere tendencies that you get from the lavender and the fir note here, which, by the way, is a superstar with this fragrance that lifts up the whole composition. It's an EDT composition, but it really lasts like an EDP, like an eau de parfum. The perfumer for this fragrance is Daniel Molière. I don't know any big prominent fragrances that he has put out, but this here is definitely a one-hit wonder. So this fragrance opens up with the mandarin orange and the black currant, followed by this really aldehydic nuance and some green tinge to the fragrance. It's going to be a little bit of a powerhouse and a little bit pungent and sharp for some people. My wife is not really big on this one, but as it dries down, as you get to the heart, the florals will kick in and the magic begins as soon as that fir starts to come through and lifts up the composition. The lavender is also going to be perceived throughout the fragrance. It's not going to give you that barbershop feel, but it's going to be like a creamy, semi-sweet lavender variety, which makes it really captivating and inviting. This fragrance was released in 1993, which when it was released, I believe was bad timing for Givenchy, as it really didn't succeed in the US market. You afterwards, shortly after, was able to find this discounted, and then it just faded away and died. I did hear that they were re-releasing this fragrance, which I'll show you the picture next to me, just like they did with Givenchy Gentleman. But again, it was released in a time that the aquatics, ozonic, aromatic fragrances were really exploding, the sport flankers. So this really didn't have a chance back in '93 and you know, within the mid-90s, which is sad because it was really ahead of its time for what it was. But now it fetches a pretty penny because it is a modern day classic. Another fragrance that I would compare this to, not because they smell alike, but because it's also a great masterpiece when it comes to a floral masculine scent, would be Kenzo Power for Man, which you guys know I love. So yeah, two great floral scents, two great masculine floral scents in my collection. Probably my top two favorite floral masculine scents of all time, Givenchy Incensé and Kenzo Power for Man. Another floral scent that's really feminine but a guy can pull off, which kind of will give you some nuances with this fragrance, would be Chanel No. 19. Although it goes into a whole different green aldehydic direction, and this one here is a little bit more aromatic, this one would definitely take the cake. So for me, it would be Givenchy Incensé, which will definitely make my top spring scents if this was readily available, then Kenzo Power, and then Chanel No. 19, in that order. Performance is absolutely no problem with this fragrance. You're looking at an all-day performance, especially if you spray your clothes like I do. As far as the push, the projection is going to be 2+ hours. It really projects. When it sits closer to the skin, it still gives off nice whiffs throughout the day. So as far as performing goes, it is a great performing scent. This is a perfect outdoor scent, and it screams springtime. So think of springtime, think of outdoor. If you're gonna be going out, this is a perfect scent for those occasions. Definitely more masculine. 1 or 2 sprays max. You don't have to go more than that because it's really strong and powerful scent, very dense. And I'd say more mature vibe, 30 and up to really appreciate the scent. I think if you're a youngster out there, you're not gonna understand the scent too much and you're gonna think it's rather aged. Final thoughts on the house of Givenchy. I think it's a tremendously underrated house, one that's definitely deserving of your attention. Over the past years, I can definitely remember a few fragrances that I've had in my collection, in my arsenal, that I always wore. Fragrances like Givenchy Pie, Xeria's Rouge, Play Intense, and Very Irresistible, just to name a few. Definitely a house that's deserving of your attention. I love Givenchy, and I think we should talk more about it because they have quality scents that last a long time. Hope you've enjoyed this little classic review from Givenchy Incensé, and I'm gonna give you guys a chance to find great gems like this one. There's a particular place that I have found at least a half a dozen fragrances over the past year, and it's called Perfume Pawn. And what I'll do is I'll have the link below so you guys can check it out. And also I'll do one better. I'm going to give you guys 15% off courtesy of Daniel Zimmerman. He's also in the Emporium of Scents, my fragrance group. If you guys are part of that group, you can also get in touch with him in person or check out the link where you're going to be pushed into his website and you can find anything that you want. And that 15% off goes for any orders above $5, and that offer is good until March 27th. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Stay tuned for a lot more. In the meantime, you guys stay fragrant and, of course, keep on spraying. I'll see you in the next one.